Mentioned just before news about if you had not heard, the fact that Amazon workers in their Laval plant have just become the first in Canada to be granted the right to unionize. So I thought we'd look into this story, try to find a little bit more. Carolyn Senneville is the CSN union president, the CSN representing the workers there, and she is on the line. Hi, Carolyn.
Hello.
Thanks for being here this afternoon. Look, I have a couple of questions. Number one, just so people understand, being granted the right to unionize means what's next?
Well, it means that you're certified at the labor board and that you have the right to form a union and negotiate a working contract, a collective agreement.
Okay, so at that point, does that mean, and this is roughly, I think, 200 workers, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so does that mean they all get together and now they can try to become a union? And if the votes are there, you are, and if the votes are not, you're not? How does that work?
No, we're certified under at the labor board, so we already forming a union. Now, what the job we have to do is elect our representatives, decide on our bylaws, and then see what we want in our collective agreement. We're going to survey the members to see what would you like to see in your working contract and start negotiating.
Well, so let me work kind of backwards with respect to what they'd like to see. You got to this point because there were things they didn't like that they had. So what are some of the issues here?
Oh, health and safety would be one of the main issues. It's a fast-paced environment. You can handle up to 300 or even 400 boxes an hour, and some of these boxes can be really heavy. Every move you make is monitored, and if you are not fast enough, you get written up. And after 3 times, well, it's like baseball, 3 strikes and you're out. And you do all that for about $6 to $8 an hour less than what you would find in other warehouses in Quebec.
So I guess one of the other questions would be, how did you manage to do this? Because there are Amazon warehouses across the country. What's different here? How did you manage to pull this off?
Well, it's the workers themselves. I mean, that's the way union works. It's the workers getting together and wanting to form a union. We got a majority of them to sign up a card, and I have to hand it to them because most of them come from immigration. They're vulnerable workers, and Amazon takes advantage of this vulnerability. And well, it's their courage and determination that got us here.
So I read as well, obviously Amazon's not really happy about this to begin with. That's understandable, right? This would change the way that people are necessarily paid. So what happens now when Amazon says it's going to appeal? What does that change?
It could be understandable, but it's illegal. The thing is, forming a union is a right that is protected under both the Canadian and the Quebec Charter rights. And it's the workers' decision to be made, and the employers are forbidden to interfere in that. So now that the workers have made the decisions, the law also says that Amazon has to show up at the negotiating table and negotiate in good faith.
Oh, okay. So now there's negotiation. We already know that Amazon, as you just said, does not necessarily agree or appreciate what's happening here. You obviously have studied what's happened at other Amazon locations across North America. My understanding is there's only one other that's unionized. That's the one in New York.
Yes,
so what are you expecting will happen here next?
Well, we're hoping for the best and getting ready for the worst. Our legal department is ready also because I know that Amazon is still contesting, but the thing is, what the labor board stated and a judge stated on that, the union is certified, it exists, and you have to deal with it, whether you like it or not. And dealing with it means negotiating. And what the law also has provisions in Quebec that if you can't reach an agreement for your first collective agreement, the Department of Labor can name an arbitrator to arbitrate the first working contract. So that's something that can be done in Quebec. That doesn't exist in the state of New York. So hopefully we won't need to get there, but if we need to, well, then the law protects our rights to form a union and do bargain a first contract.
So when I asked about other places besides the one in New York that is unionized, there have been others that have tried. You've obviously studied those. What has happened in the past with the ones that have tried and failed?
Well, there have been some plants in BC And the union there said that it wasn't throwing in the towel. It was just postponing. I don't know. I think it's the workers' determination here. It's labor laws. Here in Quebec, you can form a union by signing up cards, and if you do get a majority of cards, then and the cards are signed, of course, freely, and that's what the labor board does. It goes and investigates. Did the people sign? Did they sign freely? And then they give us the certification. So I don't know. I think we owe it to the workers themselves that are tired of working in strenuous working conditions.
So before you got to this stage of it, when already the idea of, or I call it the threat of, to Amazon, a union was going to happen, what was going on? Was Amazon, because I've seen this in the past, was Amazon trying to talk to workers to tell them, convince them not to unionize?
Oh, yes. They were postings in the plant saying, "Well, be careful what you sign. You know, here in Canada, if you sign something, you'll be legally bound," which is, of course, directly aimed at scaring people off signing their union cards. They had one-on-one meetings. They had even management coming down from the States.
Wow.
To try to discourage people from unionizing. And my message to Amazon is always the same. If you want to do business in Quebec and in Canada in general, well, you have to respect our law. If your customers' money is good enough here, but also our labor laws should be good enough for you also.
I would ask one thing. I think it's fair to ask. There is also the possibility, I would guess. I mean, Amazon is a multi-billion-dollar company. This is just one warehouse in one location. Is there the consideration that they could just say at the end of this, depending on how negotiations go, you know what? It's not worth our while. We're going to close this plant and go somewhere else.
Well, we have campaigns going on at other plants. So we're hoping that, and that's what's so good about this unionization. It's, well, of course, for the workers themselves, but it sends out the message that, yes, you have a right to unionize, and it's not only a right on paper, you can actually reach that goal. So that's one thing. And the other thing is, it was the workers' choice. And they say, well, we can't stand this anymore. It's not up to the working standards here in Quebec, and Amazon should do better. And then Amazon will have to choose what kind of business it wants to run and what kind of business it wants to run in Quebec and how they want to treat their employees when you're a multi-billion enterprise.
Yeah. I'm guessing as well, when you talked about workers making below, in terms of whatever that salary would be, that's going to be obviously part of I imagine a key part of the negotiations would be to raise those salaries to what level?
Oh, to what is now existing. So that's they go for around $18 to $20 an hour, and salaries go about 26 to 28. That's what we will find in other unionized plants. So
that's what you'd be shooting for.
The workers will have to vote on that. Sometimes you want to have. You also have to take into account benefits and things like that.
Sure.
So it takes a package. But of course, having pay increases, of course, that will be in the deal.
Okay. Well, we shall see where this goes. Caroline, I thank you so much for the time this afternoon.
You're welcome.
All right. So that's what's happening. The Amazon plant, the warehouse, if you will, in Laval, becoming the first Canadian plant to actually become unionized. So, and Amazon has said, as I said, not happy about this. They've also said they'd appeal the decision because of the unfairness of the election processes, as in plural, processes. So as again, I said a moment ago, we'll see where this one goes. But for now, it looks like a win.